Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, Paramount is up for sale. We'll tell you what's happening, the big catch with that announcement, and who may be interested in buying them. The FTC wants to crack down on hidden fees that Comcast, Spectrum, and other cable TV companies use to hide the true cost of their service. And America's lack of trust in cable TV's news is probably helping cord cutting grow even faster. We'll tell you shockingly how few people trust the so-called mainstream media, the big news networks on cable TV, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. So we'll dive into all that and take a look at this and more. First, though, if you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. You'll find a link to each story there so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. If you're new here, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here so YouTube recommends our videos to more people, hopefully helping you break free from the high costs of TV and still watch what you want to watch also. All right, let's dive into it. Starting off with Paramount is reportedly up for sale. Over the weekend, the Wall Street Journal broke the news that their largest shareholder, which is the Redstone family, that controls about 80% of their voting shares, is open to selling or merging Paramount, either breaking it up, selling off parts of it, merging with another company, or a straight up sale. Catch is the price will have to be good. Now, apparently they're open to it, and I think most businesses are. Let's be honest, I think all businesses at some point are up for sale. I know I was at one point when the price was really good, and that's the fact of it. If the price is really good, a lot of people will be willing to sell with it. And the question, though, is will anybody be willing to pay that price? But the Redstone family was the driving force of the CBS and Viacom merger, which has now produced Paramount's new company here, of the two combined. Paramount's a good-sized company. I think a lot of people are surprised by how much significantly larger things like Warner Bros. Discovery and Disney are in comparison to Paramount. There's been some analysts who speculated that Paramount's too small to survive in this growing trend of mergers and acquisitions and streaming. Now, Paramount has a lot going for them. Paramount Plus is one of the most successful new streaming services alongside Disney Plus, much larger than things like Peacock, for example, has been able to do. They also hold quite a few major assets, CBS's, which includes the NFL football games and Super Bowl rotating. You also have March Madness and other massive sports events, including the new Big Ten contract for football and basketball games. This, helps them succeed, but also makes them very attractive for a potential takeover. We'll have to see how that all works out. But who would be interested? Well, there's been a lot of talk that for a while that Warner Bros. Discovery even looked at purchasing Paramount. Not sure if they still would now that they've completed the merger with Time Warner Media and Discovery. We'll see how that plays out. But there's also talk that we may see something like Comcast's NBC Universal take a look at them. Plus, there's a host of investment firms that may be interested. We'll see. But question, would you like to see Paramount sold? If so, to who? Or would you rather they stay where they are? A lot of people really like Paramount Plus. It's done very well in our surveys of our readers, and it has a 61 million subscribers, a pretty good base of subscribers to help it stand out and succeed. We'll see how that all plays out, but leave me a comment, let me know what you think. All right, the FTC, we talked about this last week a little bit, but they want to ban hidden fees that Comcast, Spectrum, and other cable TV companies use to hide the true cost of their service. Now, with this proposed new rule, no longer will there be able to be things like RSN fees. Regional sports fees and local broadcast TV fees add up to be $40 a month. We also have HD technology fees, regulatory recovery fees, and the list goes on and on. And suddenly, your good-looking promoted price for cable TV is suddenly significantly higher, which affects a lot of people with that. But the FTC is looking at cracking down on this, not just in cable, but that's going to be one of the big people impacted by this, but also for hotels and other places, those resort fees, for example, that aren't included in the advertised price. But you can't avoid them. They're a set fee automatically added on top of your bill. Shouldn't they be included in that, is what the FTC is saying. I think this is great for cord cutting because no longer will we have to hear, hey, there are all these cheaper cable. It's almost expensive. Streaming is almost as expensive as cable TV. Well, yeah, if you ignore the $41 mandatory RSN and local broadcast TV, device fees, regulatory recovery fees, the list goes on and on with it. So we'll keep a close eye on this, but let me know, do you want the FTC to outlaw that, or do you think that's not something they should get involved with? All right, one of the two big things that keeps cable TV news going is news, along with sports. Live news and live sports has been long seen as one of the reasons why cable TV is holding on to as many subscribers as it currently is. Well, a new Gallup poll has come out and says, according to that report, just 34% trust traditional mass media companies like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, and more with this. Not quite the absolute bottom, but very close to it, and a significant drop over the last few years. Only 7% of Americans say they greatly trust major news networks, and 27% said they have a fair amount of trust in media. So even of the people who still trust the media, it's very small. And this has been helping cord cutting. Increasingly, Americans are turning to non-traditional sources for their news, like Cord Cutters News, but many other sites like us, many social media platforms, YouTube, and more have been benefiting from that. But it's been hurting cable TV because in the past, people who would not have given up their MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, etc. are willing to because they found other news sources that, honestly, they're happy with. And that's kind of hurt them. That removes one more leg from the cable TV table. And really now they're having to put all their eggs into these live sports options here to keep cable TV going. We'll see how that all works out, but let me know, does it surprise you how low the number is of people who trust mainstream media? Or does it surprise you so many people still do? Leave me a comment, let me know. All right, another massive IPTV service shut down. I've told you repeatedly over the last year, as media companies struggle to become profitable, they are pouring efforts into their ability here to stop piracy, to get people into legal services. Now, a massive IPTV service run out of Indonesia, but worldwide efforts here has been shut down. Police have raided them and shut down two large IPTV services run by the same people, and it streamed live sporting and more. Problem is, a lot of people who have paid for this service are now waking up finding that service no longer works and the money you paid is gone. So always be careful about paying for pirated services because someday it may get shut down and you may be out of luck. All right, if you subscribe to Amazon Prime to get Amazon Prime Video, more benefits coming to you. Amazon's expanding its 1-hour drone delivery to several more U.S. states and taking it worldwide, or to other parts of the world, not worldwide yet, but outside the U.S. They will offer, I believe it's in 3 cities now, drone deliveries on a handful of products from their main office. Within 1 hour, you'll get it dropped off right to your front door. I've heard even prescriptions are something they look at. Drop off a prescription from their pharmacy direct to your front door within an hour. It's pretty cool. Added benefit, hopefully they can continue to roll this out to more cities so that we can take advantage of this new effort here with that. So let me know, 1-hour delivery, is that important to you? Does that help you sign up for Prime to get Prime Video and 1-hour delivery? Let me know. All right, spam calls are becoming a big problem and they're targeting cord cutters. Increasingly, a number of spam scams are targeting cord cutters pretending to be either internet service providers or streaming services, offering you discounts if you just agree to pay for a few months up front. Well, Amazon and Microsoft have teamed up and in cooperation with Indian local officials, they raided 76 suspected spam call centers across India and shut them down. While yes, some of these may reappear, it is a great sign that we're continuing to crack down on these fake spam call centers that tell you, hey, things like, hey, we'll cut your internet bill significantly, but you have to prepay for 6 months and you have to pay in a Target gift card or go to Target, buy it. I did notice that a lot of grocery stores around me are starting to put up signs about these scams at the gift card centers. Props to my local grocery company doing that. I know bigger companies have been doing it a while. It's good to see smaller grocery stores and other places putting up warnings about not buying gift cards to pay bills over the phone. All right, and last story of the day before we get into the cord cutting Q&A, ABC News and Good Morning America will be leaving their iconic Times Square headquarters and moving to a different part of New York into a new studio Disney's built. Probably a lot cheaper than the current, but for over 20 years now, Good Morning America has been in Times Square, but not anymore. It's moving out of Times Square. Kind of a sad day a little bit there because it's such an iconic thing. It's over the last 20 plus years of Times Square, but it's also exciting to see what their new studios will be later this year with that. All right, let's dive into our cord cutting Q&A. If you have a question for me you want me to answer at the end of one of our videos, leave me a comment down below and start it off with a question for Luke. That way I know it's for these videos, and I'll try to answer one or two every day with these videos depending on time. Today's question is asking from JC. Quick question for Luke. What will be the greatest threat to cord cutting 2.0 in 2024? So cord cutting 2.0 is the idea that you're going to cancel not just your cable TV service, but your cable internet. They're going to move to cheaper, newer options. Honestly, one of the greatest threats with cord cutting 2.0 is the idea that the regulation and approval. FCC, FAA, and a whole bunch of other government companies have to approve a lot of these new 5G networks and more. And I do worry about two things. A, taxes on these services. A lot of local cities have been trying to get recover lost tax revenue by putting new taxes on streaming services and internet. I worry about that. But more importantly, I worry about the FAA, the backlog there. Blue Origin, SpaceX, and more have asked the FAA and Congress to kind of revamp the FAA's process on this to speed up the launch approval to get these services live. Dish is trying to get the FCC to approve them to use spectrum they own to be able to offer 5G home internet. My biggest concern is that the federal government will regulate a lot of these new services so harshly, or so slowly, maybe a better way to say it, that it prevents or severely delays a lot of new internet options. The 5G home internets, the fiber plans, that getting permission from cities to run fiber through cities and more hurt it. The FCC has done some things, especially with fiber, to help roll out internet faster. It used to be, for example, you had to get permission from the city and every single utility that's on a pole. And it could take years to get permission to run fiber through just one subdivision. They've done a lot to speed that up to prevent companies who have, let's say, legacy systems in that area from them trying to block you from getting access to the right-of-ways and more in that area. But I do worry mostly about government delayed, slow reactions here, and new taxes, new regulations that drag out the rollout of these new internet options. We'll see how it all plays out, but cord cutting 2.0 is a real thing. It's growing fast, and I think by the end of 2024, I think we'll be shocked by how many options many people have for internet. Well, that's it for today. Hopefully, I helped you learn something new. If I did, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. We'll be back here tomorrow with another video. Until then, take care, be safe. Have a fantastic day, everybody.